trying to get 2 cameras going here, so yay! I think we did it. So it's a new day. We're going live in 2 different places, so if you feel like I'm not giving you enough love in one camera or the other, you guys can yell at me. I may not be able to read it. But anyway, hey guys, we are making red beans and rice today, which will comfort your belly. You may be making black beans. I don't know what you had in your pantry, but I started some red beans and I started some rice because, you know, as seen on TV, I want you guys to be able to see the full effect without having to be on here for an hour if you happen to have a beautiful day outside like we do here in Knoxville. But I've got you kind of high in the sky here because I want to be able to tilt you down and you be able to see what we're actually doing. But I'm so glad you could join me, and I see Angela and Hannah all the way from Ireland. All right, see, our rice is already ready. Let me get it out, hang on. So we're going to be making rice in the oven, which I know sounds crazy, but it is something my husband's grandmother did, and I've modified it just a little bit so that we can punch up the flavor, because that happens a lot in my kitchen. And I'm going to get that out, and because I don't want it to overcook, but I'm going to show you how we do that and get it in the oven, and then we will get started on our red beans. So let me grab that, and then we will get started on actually creating our own, okay? Hang on just 1 second. Nothing like timing, right guys? Oh, this is hot. Okay, so I'm gonna have my sweet assistant tilt you down so you can see where I'm working. Here, I'll help you. You're gonna have to just move the camera. There you go. That's good. Excellent. All right, so let me see if you can see this. I'm gonna put it here so you can see what we're doing. So I told you in the recipe that you needed a covered casserole. Okay, so see what I've got? It's a ceramic casserole dish with a lid. I sprayed this with nonstick spray. You can just rub it with oil or butter if you want to. I've already rinsed my rice. I use a wire mesh strainer, and I run water over this until it runs clear. And you know, once you get it wet, it has a tendency to stick together, but that's okay. We're cooking food here, and we will handle that in just a minute. I cut up some onion. I told you in the recipe, we diced that up. And we're going to, hey, lovely assistant, can you stick that broth in the microwave for me? Remember, in my recipe, I told you that we wanted to heat our broth. That is the key to this rice cooking properly in the oven. So I'm asking my sweet little assistant that doesn't want to be on camera to heat that broth for me for 4 minutes in the microwave. You're welcome to heat it on the stove, but it's not necessary. So I have like 3 pats of butter, onion, and my rice in here. And when we get this assembled, we're gonna bake it in the oven at 350 degrees for 50 minutes. And while that broth is heating, I'm gonna show you how this rice looks when it comes out of the oven. So here's mine that just came out, okay? Let me get a fork. See how my onions rose to the top here? But this is perfectly fluffy rice. The grains are still intact. They're not overcooked. There's no liquid left at the bottom. And since I sprayed the pan, it's not stuck. See how wonderful that looks? And this works perfect every single time. So this is the perfect base for your red beans and rice. Now you may have seen, I put a little note on Facebook that if you wanted to make this a vegetarian dish, you could. If you wanted to use some smoked sausage in your red beans, you could do that as well. Is anybody cooking along with me? Hi, Peggy. Hey, Jonathan. So yes, we're actually cooking here. If I can get my broth hot, we're gonna stick this in the oven. I'm gonna go ahead and get this other pan going so that you guys don't have to wait on me too long. So to do our red beans, we want to brown our bacon that I have cubed up. See, here's my bacon. And I have some as seen on TV red beans here too. And when I told you, use what you have in your fridge, because I know people are trying not to go to the store too often. They're trying to use what they have at home. I had an orange bell pepper, but I didn't have any celery. I meant to get some celery seed out of my pantry, but I forgot that and everything I had going on here at the house. But that's a great substitution. If you don't have celery, you can use celery seed. It gives you that flavor, but it doesn't add salt, because I like to use smoked salt. There's a whole blog post on my blog about smoked salt, and I have somewhere in there, I think it's on the Andouille Sausage post, about where you can order smoked salt if you don't want to make your own. It adds a smoky flavor without adding chemicals to your food, so it's one of the things that I like to use to add that without adding unmentionable or things that you can't pronounce kind of things to your food. So to get started on the red beans, we want to brown or render out our bacon. This is going to have to come up to temp just a little bit. And then once we get this going, we're going to take the bacon out and we're going to cook our vegetables in the grease that we get from our bacon. Okay? So does anybody have any questions for me while we're working on this? Hey guys! It's so good to have the camera turned around this way so I can see you. So I'm actually going to serve some of these up so you can see. Let me finish this rice so you can see how it goes. All right. I'm going to have to move this over so my Instagram friends can see it. Now, for my broth, I didn't tell you this. I use Better Than Bouillon all the time. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that product. It is a really great product that I have in several different flavors in my pantry. I'll show you the container. Where did I put that? Oh, there it is. For the value and what it's made out of, I love the product. Now see how easily that rice breaks up once you get stirring it? So you just stir it around, make sure everybody's broken apart. And yes, there's butter, but it makes it good. You put the lid on, and I'm going to put this in the oven. You want this going in here with the broth warm or hot. And this bakes for 50 minutes. I hear that bacon. So here's the Better Than Bouillon. If you don't use this, this is a really value-based way to do your broth instead of buying it already mixed. And you just keep this in your refrigerator once you open it. It's like a, it's a broth base, like a soup base. And I really like that, like this is a organic reduced sodium roasted chicken. And they make it from chicken that they've roasted and they reduce it down. It's so much less expensive than buying big canisters of broth. And I always have it on hand. And it makes it really simple. So let's talk about our seasoning for a minute. I am using a homemade Cajun seasoning blend. The recipe's on my blog. The reason I use this is because I can control the amount of sodium in what I'm cooking. Most commercial Cajun seasoning blends and seasoning blends in general have a lot of sodium. But also, like I said, I like to use the smoked salt because you're trying to impart a really smoky flavor, especially if you end up doing a vegetarian version of these red beans. It's kind of hard where you're going to find that smoky element if you're not using bacon or smoked sausage or smoked ham. So, and you can control the salt if you have a dietary restriction. And let's see, what else? I'm trying to think. What else do I need to tell you? Do you have questions? What is this? We are making red beans and rice. Join in. So we're trying to use up things that we might have in our pantry since we're shut in. Maybe you got to go outside today and spend some time in the sun. I don't really know what the weather's like where you live. We're just so thankful the sun came out here. We just don't know what to do with ourselves. But I've stayed in to spend some time with you guys. So I hope that you enjoy a visit to New Orleans. Red beans and rice is a typical Monday dish, but I decided since we are under special circumstances and I need to help you use what's in your pantry, that we would have it today. Now, if you live in the South, there's a chance that your grocery store carries Conecuh sausage. They're not endorsing me. I'm endorsing them because I love it. We don't have access to a lot of really great commercial andouille sausage, but this is a great smoked sausage that I like to use in a pinch, or I like to fry it up with potatoes and onions and make it for breakfast. But this is really good in a lot of applications, and it's made in southern Alabama. So if you live in the South, there's a chance your grocery store carries this. So this would be great in this or alongside it. If you ever see it in your store, it's Conecuh. And I may not be saying that right, but I'm from East Tennessee, so I butcher about 3/4 of what I say anyway. So you just gotta love me or not, and that's just how it goes. So I need to make this water into broth, so I'll show you how I do that with my better than bouillon. So this better than bouillon, 1 teaspoon makes a cup of broth, and I have a 1.5 cups of water here for my red beans that we're making, and this blends up a whole lot easier when the water's warm. But the point is, it'll work when it gets all warmed up in there. And we always want a bay leaf in our Cajun cooking, but especially in our red beans, because we're not going to be adding that many things to them. So I'm going to go ahead and rescue this bacon out of here and get this going so you can see how we put this together, so you don't have to sit on your phone all afternoon. So we're going to get this bacon out of here, and we're going to cook these vegetables in this bacon grease. And maybe you save your bacon grease on the stove. My grandmother used to do that. I'm not one of those, but it sure does add a lot of flavor to this particular dish. So I've cut up 1/2 of a medium onion and 1/2 of an orange pepper, because that's what I had in my refrigerator. And I like the colored peppers better than the green peppers. I just find that they're easier on my gut. I don't tend to have them talking back to me like the others. So now I'm going to turn this down just a little bit, but here in just a minute, when I add a little salt to these vegetables, this is my smoked salt, and it's going to come out of this container like it's putting out a fire or something. For whatever reason, it's generous with itself. But the salt is going to make these vegetables start releasing their water, and it'll help us get all this yummy goodness. You see all that brown stuff on the bottom of that pan? Around here, that's yummy goodness. It's technically called fawn, but that adds so much flavor to our dish. And when these vegetables release their natural juices, that will lift all that up. And you have not ruined your pan. You actually are building layers of flavor for your beans. So see how they're getting quiet? Because they're letting all their water out. So let's get those going. I'm gonna go ahead and add my Cajun seasoning because it'll start waking up those spices when they get hot in there. I'm gonna add a teaspoon so I don't scare anybody. If I was cooking just for me, I'd probably add 2 for my 2 cans of red beans. And this is a red bean rice cheat that I'm using canned red beans, and I'm not letting them cook all day, but it's okay. We're allowed to take shortcuts in our own kitchen. We're under special circumstances. Does anybody have questions? You understand I don't have my glasses on. I may not be able to see this. Oh, there's Susie. Hi, Susie. I haven't seen you in forever. Sweet girl. All right, I put my bay leaf in here because I want it to start waking up. You need a bay leaf in all of your Cajun cooking. It's a thing. And if you don't have your Cajun seasoning, you can use cayenne and thyme, black pepper. I know thyme doesn't make any sense if you don't do a lot of Cajun cooking, but it makes all the sense in the world. You got to put it in there. It's so good, okay? So, I'm going to add these beans. I have 2 cans of red beans that I poured out, drained, and rinsed in that same wire mesh strainer. All right, we're going to get these going. And as seen on TV style, I'm about to show you some that are already cooked. Like we really have good sense around here. We're about to feast and it's not even dinner time. All right. So I didn't even have that broth mixed up good, but that's okay because it's going to get hot in this pan. So I told everybody, if you don't have red beans, use black beans, white beans, whatever kind of beans you have. It's fine. They'll taste great. Your belly will get filled up and feel lovely tonight. Now my bay leaf is in here. My Cajun seasoning is in here. I put a little bit of salt, not too much because those beans coming out of a jar are salted already. I'm going to add my bacon back in here. And I'm going to put, oh look, more bacon grease coming off that plate. Lovely. Thank you. I'm going to put a lid on this and I want to get this going. I want to bring it up to a boil and then I'm going to reduce it. Now I want you to see, this broth is pretty clear. I mean, you can see it's not milky and creamy yet. And we're going to compare this. See that? Can you guys see? Can you guys see? All right, I'm going to move this and we're going to switch it. Magic of television. I'm turning that one back there up and I'm turning this one down. And I already know this is hot because I looked at it a little while ago. So I've had this one going for about an hour, okay? Because I wanted you guys to have it to see and us to be able to taste, okay? You're gonna have to taste via my taste buds, okay? But do you see how that broth changed colors? Because it's getting milky, because it's been here cooking. Can you see that? Now, if you want this creamier than this, you can mash some of these beans. But your rice is gonna soak up that broth. So this is good. So I'm gonna dish up a little bit in a bowl. And I want you to see, I'm actually going to do it in this little bowl right here, okay? Let's see how this turned out. I'm not going to touch that lid because it's been in the oven. I know better than that. I don't want y'all to see me cry because I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. So how you want to serve this, and I know y'all are listening to me and not seeing me, is you're gonna take some rice and put it in the middle of your bowl, right like that. And then you're gonna dish out some of these beans over the top, okay? And this is the traditional way, this did get nice and thick, to eat red beans and rice. And this is gonna be hot, but that's the way you're supposed to serve it, right? Hot and ready to taste. Okay, we'll see how it turned out, guys. Does anybody have any questions? I think y'all can send me a message, right? Hi there, Lisa. Oh, I see Mandy, and there's Lynn. All my friends. All right, I'm gonna wait just a second to taste this because I don't want y'all to see me cry because I stuck this hot stuff. Boy, that is hot in my mouth. Anyway, I hope you guys try this red beans and rice. I hope you enjoy it and it warms your belly. If you have any questions, you can send me a message on Instagram or on Facebook. You can send me a message on the blog. I'm gonna post the recipes on the blog. If I'm honest, it'll be tomorrow probably, so that you can print them easier. And the Cajun seasoning recipe is on there if you want to print that. This right here, it's on there. And there'll be a link where you can order smoked salt if Amazon's shipping that right now. Honestly, I don't know that that's considered essential, so they may not send it. I think it's essential, so you could try it. I don't know. Oh, those are good. I have an assistant here, but he doesn't want to come on camera. Do you want to come on camera and taste them?
I'm good right now. It looks kind of hot.
It's not that hot. I tasted it.
They lie.
He just called me a liar on camera. Anyway, guys, I thank you for coming and joining us. I'm thinking maybe my next live video will be something sweet, like oatmeal cookies. And don't think like yuck goo oatmeal cookies with raisins. Think something with a crusty, crunchy edge with a chewy middle, just to switch it up. But if you want me to keep doing like dinner things that use things that you'd have in your pantry and your refrigerator, I'm happy to do that. But if you have an opinion, let me know, okay? I love you guys. I'm still praying for each and every one of you that you're healthy and that your family remains healthy. Go outside, get some air and some sunshine if it is shining where you live. And we will do this again very soon. All right? Love you guys. I'll see you soon. Let me see if we can figure out how to save this so that everybody can see it again. Bye, guys.